Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got a great show planned for you tonight, and the root of it is, typically, I know everyone has had a business idea where they just like, look, I think this is a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I think I can make a lot of money. I think people want it. I see it, but I really don't know how to test if it's true.
Okay.
We talk about it all the time. People go see a restaurant, say, man, this is a great idea. Perfect example, been on the news lately in regards to like Piggy Cole said she had lost ownership of Slutty Vegan. And I know there's another communication where they said she bought it back and everything.
Okay.
But I say that to say to what we're talking about. Sometimes people can see a business, what we say, don't get traffic confused with profits.
Right.
And you say, man, that's a good idea. I think I can do it. I can the clubs are bumping, cigar bars are great ideas. But when they put the toe out there in the water to test it and get that particular business is not working right.
Right.
And they really don't know outside of them just seeing, a busy business, why it didn't work.
Okay.
And that's why we had that conversation today. How to validate your business. What we mean by validate is how to test to see if it's a good business idea or a valid business model at all.
Okay.
Right. So we use the term valid or validation in the business world. We think about that more so the test. Right.
Okay.
It's just another word for saying how to validate your business. So, not necessarily from an inner perspective to say, hey, do you feel like this is a good thing? It's to actually, when you have a business, to be able to not just feel or see somebody doing well, but to be able to test that hypothesis, just like you guys took basic science, high school.
Right.
Test that hypothesis to see if it's a good idea or not.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about tonight. How to validate your business idea.
Okay.
How to validate your business idea. Again, this is the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. The Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. We talk about personal finance, YouTube, personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok and Twitter. But the main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, where we have over 1,000 videos. Plus, we have a grant playlist with over 150 different grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. If you do have to leave or come in and out, remember the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube, which is the main hub with all the videos. You can always Google it and go there. You'll see his handsome face up there. Pop up, subscribe, and you check out this video in its full entirety, and also all the other great videos that we've done already. Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, bro? It's Thursday.
Hey, man, best day of the week. Best day of the week.
Came out today.
Yes, sir.
It was 85 degrees today.
Them fish were fishing out there in the pond today. I'm throwing a little stuff out there. They coming to the top. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the pleasure when you're on your own business. You can go feed your koi pond in the middle of the day.
I went to the lake that morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had to drop some checks off from Griffin. And I stopped at the lake, just sat out there, got my thoughts together about 30 minutes, and came to the crib.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I took a picture.
That's the entrepreneur life.
Try to damn decompress some stress. Like, that's what the hell that was. That's what I'm sorry. Right. I ain't stopped there really, but I took a picture there. But that was cool. Also, what's up to my other producer, Slick 316? What's up, Reek?
What's on, Reek?
Man, before we get started, I do want to say, guys, we are in the month of April. The goal is 85,000 subscribers. So if you have not, we are 81, I think. But if you have not, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Guys, we released, there's a lot of great information we're putting out this month. I know I put out the video the other day about the best resources for veterans.
That was a good video.
If you're a veteran, regardless of what branch you was in, if you need help, how to file claims, how to get in contact with somebody in regards to different benefits, what kind of places offer year-round discounts. That video, the best resource for veterans, is on Mr. Short Dollar from YouTube. We did the April 2025 Small Business Grant video. That was 20. I think it was 20 different grant opportunities. Plus, we got a lot more information coming down the pike. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Take advantage of all the great information there, okay? All thing you got to do is spend a little time.
Right.
I get calls all the time. Hey, I seen you on YouTube. Listen, sir, ma'am.
Right.
All that shit on there free.
Right.
We start talking, I start charging.
Right.
I'm just saying. Right now, free.
Right.
You just got to spend a little time listening and looking.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Scroll.
That's all you got to do.
But once I open my mouth.
Yeah. Also, guys, great news. My ebook, five questions to ask yourself before you start a business. I changed platforms. What I originally did, I put it on a Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got a Kindle reader. Everybody comes to me
Nobody
out.
has Kindle.
I just changed it. So now if you go, I put it on a whole different platform. You can pay for it, get a $5 ebook, process, and you got it right there in and out.
Okay.
So all you got to do is go in the description section of most of my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I got different ads running on different social media platforms for the $5 ebook, 5 questions to ask yourself before you start your own business. Go there, pick it up, real easy to get, okay? And we got a lot more stuff, but I switched platforms.
Okay.
Got it on that lab.
You need to put it on Apple.
No Apple? On for the ebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Hell,
Apple Books, you just type it. They are the most easiest because they can put it on your iPad or your phone.
Okay, we'll talk about that show, but right now I want y'all guys to go in the description section. You'll see that, right? Is there anything else?
Yeah. Hey, mama.
Oh, what's up, mama?
Hey, mama.
I talked to my mama this morning. When I was heading to Griffin. Okay. How you doing, mom? Appreciate you tuning in. I think that's it. Nothing that's major has happened. Okay. But again, we're talking about our show tonight. We're talking about how to validate your business. And again, when we start talking about in the business world, we use the word valid or validation or validating. It's more testing. That's all we want to do. We want to make sure it is the root word valid, that is a valid business idea. Because far too often, I had a partner of mine call today. I told my dog to turn in. He telling me, Pooh, I got this business idea, this company I want to do. He telling me, man, look, I can charge this, that, and that, and I can be making $50,000. I said, brother, what we always say, when you talk about starting a business, you start with the cost.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about what you're charging.
Right.
I said, what you charging may not be enough what it costs. Oh, it ain't gonna cost that much. Your words are not numbers.
Right.
And that's what happens so many times.
Mm-hmm.
People try to run businesses with numbers. This is PJ calling me now. Okay, let me just on show. My son graduates college next week.
Oh,
he just totally forgot. Yeah. I got it there. Not next week, next month. Yeah, they just deserve the back. You keep calling me.
Mercy.
Huh?
Might be Mercy.
Let me see. I don't know when to start it. I'm on my show. Yeah, oh hell. Yeah. Back to
my bad.
Yeah. I know who ain't looking at my damn show.
You answer. It ain't not answer. It'd be a Mercy.
If anyone that wasn't looking at my damn show, I know who ain't looking at my damn show. My damn son. Thanks, Junior. Right. Yeah. But yeah, with that said, a lot of times people have ideas and they think because it's a good idea, or they see a lot of people buying and stuff, man, it's a good thing, but they never look at the cost, because we know revenue minus cost equal profit, right? That's what we know it makes. But a lot of times people are so engulfed in the idea because they see so many people purchasing something, so many people doing something. It's a great idea. And like when I seen the whole thing with what I brought up with the slutty vegan example, is that not to talk about, like I said, I seen another post where she bought it back. My point, what I wanted to get at is, you have no idea the financial state of a business just by
looking from outside,
right. Looking in.
Right.
You don't know what it costs to do it, because when you're on the other side, you actually in business. Now you're dealing with overhead, you're dealing with payroll, you're dealing with insurance, you're dealing with, if you can even market or advertise your business or not, depending on what money got coming in, and people buying that product or service may not be enough to cover costs. Right. That's the other side of it, right?
Right.
Everybody, especially in this magical city we call Atlanta, Georgia, want to be business owners, right? But the problem comes up with is that far too often they never want to talk to an old nerd like Poochie to tell them, hey, 5 minus 3 equals 2.
Right.
No. They want to do 5 minus 8.
Yeah, right. That's 8. Right.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I get all the phone calls when they buy 3 weeks from eviction.
I watched the show on Netflix, and I remember I told you about it, called Chef Table. And this guy, he was a real good chef. Man, he's a real good chef now. He's in the pasta now, but he opened a restaurant, doing great. I mean, the restaurant was doing one of them lines around the corner type restaurants. You know what I'm saying? They're very busy, so you would think it was a success. And he said they had to file bankruptcy because he was so engrossed in the food part that he wasn't paying attention to the business part. And then when he noticed it, he was $3 million in debt. He was $3 million in debt. He didn't even realize that he had somebody else taking care of the books, but he wasn't paying attention to that.
And again, like that's nothing uncommon.
Right.
Because far too often when we get in business because we have a skill set or a service that we provide to people that we're good at, and people give us compliments and things like that. And people may acquire us our product or service.
Right.
And we look at we can do well, but maybe if I start, monetizing this, maybe I can make some money behind it. But they're not thinking about like, okay, is this unsustainable? Can I cover costs with that, right? Because you're doing it on the side in the mix of you having a job and doing this, that, and that. It seems like good because you got money coming in. But you even got people that are actually busy a lot of times and they still be taking the L while they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I want to have this conversation tonight again, how to validate your business. Remember what I said, guys, when we talk about how to validate your business, it's not from an internal, you feeling good perspective. Validate is the test to see if that is a very good business idea or not. Right. And you use math-based or determining what kind of traction you can get in, okay? And so we start talking about why the validating matters. Number one, it prevents wasted time and money on ideas that don't meet a real need. Okay. Because again, what I want, what Lab wants, what our circle may want, that's just that. Okay. When we start going outside of it, because what's the term? One of the terms we start talking about black businesses, black people don't support black business. But at the end of the day, it's not that black people don't support the business. Sometimes it's got a valid business model. Right. Because at the end, all black people don't like soul food. Some are vegan. Right. Some eat pork. Right. Some don't. Some, what I'm saying? Some wear, some like bald heads, dreads, natural. Some like it. You can't just put everybody in this holistic box, right? At the end of the day, when we start thinking about whatever business we have or whatever thing we're looking to do, we have to make sure that it's, something that can be, feasible, right? Is there a market for it? And also with that market, can that market, be able to afford what we're trying to do to cover costs so we can have some kind of profit? Right. And that's the intuitive side of being in business. A lot of times people don't want to go through because that's too much thinking. That's too hard. Math and all that. Yeah. Well, even if it's hard or ain't hard, people don't want to spend the time to do that. Okay. Right? Right. Because a lot of times if you're not moving in the direction you want to be moving in, you don't want to do that. You have to be realistic about when you're here and you want to get there. The pathway you're going, that just may not be the best way to go. Sometimes you may need to take a detour, because a lot of times people want to go down I-20, but you might got to go around 285 because a whole lot of traffic going to hold you up. Yes, true. No, it's shorter this way, but I get it. But we need to go there because you're going to get held up and not worth doing it. And we start talking to people like that because it doesn't resonate with the pathway you want to go. You bump your head. I know far too many people say, look, people call me, hey, bro, this is going to take 5 steps. Poochie, I don't want to do that. I already know how to do it. And they want to go from step 1 to step 5. And what happened, they do 1, 2, want to jump, and then they got to start over. And they keep doing it over and over and over again. You know what? The problem comes up. They never own that they're the ones making a mistake. Right. Oh, man, it's you. No, it ain't me. No, because my family don't even come over. They don't even support me. They don't buy nothing. I got this whole big old shot right here. They don't even post me. And the thing of it is, you'll never ever fix it. Why? Because until you own any mistake that you made, you never be able to fix it. That's the thing about it. Until you own stuff. When I all them years, 20 years of coaching football, I tell kids all the time, son, until you say what you did, you admit it. Right. We can't fix it. Right. Period. And that's all of us. Right. Until we can just own where we short at. Can't correct it because we'll always go around and make excuses for it, right? When we start talking about why validation matters, number one, it prevents wasted time and money on ideas that don't meet a real need. Second, it confirms that there's an actual demand, not just a personal passion. It confirms there's an actual demand, not a personal passion. So when we testing this, we're gonna go over ways to test it, right? But when we testing it, we really finding out right now, okay, people do want this, right? This is something that's needed. People wanting it. People actually, there's a need for it being okay, and it can actually, the demand that wants it can pay for what we're trying to do. Right? Can I ask a question? Can your personal passion also be
a demand? Can it be an actual demand?
No, that's why you're gonna test it to find out.
Okay.
Because I love doing it.
Mhm.
You know, we got to test. That's the whole point of doing the validation. Because most time we get started, why? Because we do have a personal passion, or we do have an extra a skill set that we can provide. But when we start validating and testing it, that's when we determine if it's going to be a demand.
Okay.
That's the whole point of validating.
Right.
To see, you know, just because I think it. You know, me and my buddies, we love smoking cigars.
Right.
We love politicking and campaigning.
Y'all could be in a good cigar bar.
Sipping that scotch, you know, like I was this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times I can get blinded by what I do and my friends do, what we enjoy doing, and miss the whole point of, man, this, you know, this ain't
about to ask you that. Can your passion blind you to the fact that it's not a viable?
Absolutely.
It's not a demand. It's not a demand for it. Or it's oversaturated market.
Absolutely. And that's why you do the validation.
Okay.
The next thing is, the third one is help refine your idea based on real world input before going all in. Help refine your idea by getting real world input before going all in. You want to make sure that we get tangible advice, with tangible being numbers, to sit here and say it. Because at the end of the day, words are words.
Well, give me an example, Mr. Short Dollar, of where would I get some tangible numbers from?
And we're gonna go through that.
Okay.
We're gonna go through that. Laugh, come on, laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, I laugh. We doing laugh. Skipping steps.
I see 5. I'm trying to get to 8.
We're gonna go through it. And we just bring up the reason why it's important. Okay. And so now we're finna go to where lab at. These are methods for validating your business idea. And these are ways where we say we got an idea. And what I would recommend, you do at least 2 of these.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a few, but I recommend you do at least 2 of these, right? Because like I always tell people, don't go off what Pooch is saying.
Right.
Just work it out.
Right.
Call the bank. Call these places.
Okay.
Don't go off what I say. Because you done paid them the invoice.
Right.
At the end of the day, you don't believe it. You don't like it. I get it.
Right.
Go try it. Go try it. Because, again, you can keep bumping your head, spending your money, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm going to give you a blueprint on ways to validate. Remember, when we say the word validate, we're talking about testing it, okay? Because, again, we do not want you spending time and money on something that probably won't be able to come to fruition. That doesn't mean you're quitting. That doesn't mean you're like, hey, you giving up. Trust me, you are talking to a brother that has, I'm the real done it all. All right? I ain't never sold no dope, but I done it all.
Right.
Okay? For real. So I'm just sitting here saying, like, there ain't too many, I don't need, for real with that. And I say all that to say, I understand we start going into the real currency, that being your time. You can't get that back.
Right.
You start losing time, then on top of losing money, in a bad way. Because we're all going to get older, right? And if you can't recover that time back, you might get that money back. But we want to try to avoid that by much, equipping ourselves with as much knowledge as possible to not put ourselves in them kind of situations, right? So we start going with these methods for validating business idea. The first one is talk to real people. We call that customer discovery. Again, talk to real people. We call that customer service discovery. Start with conversation. You can ask your target audience, remember, about their problems, not your solutions. Ask them about their problems, not your solutions, okay? And what I mean by that is, instead of you pushing people to do certain stuff, find out their pain points.
Right.
Find out what's going on, right? And now you can sit here and say, okay, well, I'm trying to give them something that they really don't damn need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm trying to push these fans, but they need air conditioners. You understand?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like
all these heaters, but it's something.
Exactly, right? and sometimes, depending on who your audience is, you can sit here and try to push certain things. They may not be in a I'm gonna give you a perfect example with some of the events I've done. Even right now, going with some galas, depending on if you have an older demographic, we're doing it. They might not be too inclined to deal with stuff electronically, right?
That's true.
They want damn near everything paper.
Mm-hmm.
So me trying to force, hey, I can give you guys the latest in technology and push this, that, and that. Mm-hmm. But if we're dealing with granddaddy, like, they can be very smart, but their interest, in dealing with electronics is not even there. So
they don't know how to push the button to dial their son on the phone. I'm
trying to push some Zelle processors, PayPal, Stripe, and all that. They don't even want to even talk
about it.
And you're actually getting them mad. So at the end of the day, when you say, well, look, this is the latest and this and latest and that. Like, hey, man, pump the brakes. And I have a conversation with people all the time. I get what you're saying. This is what you are want to push these people is more efficient. It is more effective, but they don't want to deal with it. And what we do know, there are the people that are paying for they want this. They want the product or service. They don't want the delivery that you're trying to give it to them. You see what I'm saying? And you got to listen to people. You got to listen.
Right.
Because far too often in business, we want to do this and tell you what the hell I can do for you.
We always selling.
Yeah, not selling, but not asking what they want.
Right. Or what they need,
basically. Exactly. So again, you got to practice that active listening. Focus again on them pain points. What frustrates you about this? How you solve with that, right? You got to do that, okay? And we got to avoid pitching to people, okay? This ain't the time to sell. It's the time to listen. This is not the time to sell. It's the time to listen. People will tell you everything you need to know if you pause and listen.
And pay attention.
Yeah. You can find out a lot by just listening to people.
That's very true.
Because you can sit here and have this $1 million thing you want to lay out to them. Shit, man, I ain't got to do all that.
Right.
I can just get them basic. I got the platinum 10-step plan. Well, here, they'll be happy with platinum 5. You know what I'm saying? Right. I ain't got to do all that. But you be so excited and amped, and I can do this and I can do that, and I can provide. Passion. Exactly. But sometimes you gotta shut the hell up
and give them what they want.
Shut the hell up and give them what they want.
Yeah.
Well, we try to do this and do that, and I give a little something extra. I don't want your extra. I wanted this.
All I wanted was an accordion folder to put my files in. I didn't need a whole system.
What my boy say? What Deonte said on it? Don't talk. Just listen. Just you baby, just he told you. What 91, 92?
Yeah.
Don't talk.
Don't talk.
Just listen. There you go. I followed the instructions. You know what I'm saying? Joseph told you.
Yeah.
Hey man, but those were the first thing. Really, just talk to real people and get that customer discovery. Okay. The second thing, again, we talk about methods for validating.
Before we go forward, I'm sorry.
Okay.
On that part that you were just saying about focus on pain points, asking what frustrates them. And you say, it's not a time to sell. Just listen. If you got 10-point platinum plan, if you listen, they may need 5. But what if you're listening to them and it sounds like they do need 10, but they want to settle for 5? See, that's a thing that a lot of times I think a lot of salespeople, they hear them talking and they saying, I need the 5, but in all reality, they really need the 10 in order to be more efficient. How do you get around that part?
You gauge by the person. Because you know what? In actuality, to that point, you hear the adage, customer's always right. The customer's not always right, but the customer's always paying you.
Right.
So you can get into your want to be back and forth. Listen, man, y'all really need this. But now I'm telling you, I don't want that. If you know this is me speaking from a professional standpoint. You're trying to provide customer for something that is more than what they want, but you're telling them, listen, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to cause you problems. You need to get this.
Right.
To me, if it does not conflict with your professional integrity, what I mean by that, it's just like you're patching up a car and you're not fixing it all the way, and it's going to fall back apart. You're still fixing it. If it breaks back down, you can't sit here and say, well, I tried to do it all the way they wanted me to do it. They just told me to do that. But you knew it was going to break back down. But at the end of the day, it breaks down. People are going to know what they want. You got a car fixed.
Right.
If it's not conflicting with your professional integrity, you can do that.
Okay.
Right.
But
if it will possibly conflict with your professional integrity, just don't do it.
Okay.
Because again, people may do it because they just don't want it. They may do it because, and again, Lab is asking me if a customer, you're trying to provide something to a customer and they don't want it, what do you do? And I'm saying at the end of the day, if it's something that you have to give them this,
they don't want it, but it's something that they really need.
Yeah, they really need.
Yeah.
If it's something that, again, conflicts with your professional integrity, where it can come back and blow up and somehow be traced back to you, and they don't want to listen to you, don't do it. Like I said, the customer not right, but they're always paying you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, look, you have to gauge it by that person. And at the end of the day, you have to be honest what capacity.
Okay.
You know, we just sold them the basic, man. We didn't go too much in depth. We're doing it and everything. We're doing it, but if it's something that you know can come back to you, just don't do it.
Okay.
All money ain't good money.
That's right.
And you got to be able to be confident with yourself enough to say, look, I don't want to get into that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can go and say, you have a hard time explaining to people that I told them they should have got this fixed. And they wouldn't listen to me, so I just did it a certain way.
Right.
And people still gonna look at you. Well, why the hell did you do it? And you know you didn't do it right.
That's the point.
You know what I'm saying? So again, if it conflicts with your professional integrity, leave it alone.
Okay.
That's just some money you don't need.
You see them sweeping the floor, sweeping the carpet, and you bring them a vacuum. They're like, I don't want no vacuum. I want this carpet. I want this broom.
Well, lad, what you did is very common, especially like sometimes you go to a mechanic. And you done went to one place, got it diagnosed, then you want to take it to Mr. Charlie to get it fixed because the place diagnosed it charged too much, and they won't go around. And the reason why the place might the diagnosis might charge so much money because it may have to go through a certain process. Right. You want to go to the other guy, he can quote unquote do it cheaper, and he's not going to go through those processes. Right. But those by not going through them processes may cause problems later on. Okay. And that person, man, I had the same professional integrity. Can you fix this and don't do that? Nah, I don't want to do that and it's attached to my name. Makes sense. Right. So that's a good question with doing it. But again, we're talking about validating these business ideas. The second thing, we're testing how to do it, is conduct some kind of market research. And that way is just analyzing industry trends. You can use Google Trends, Status, or IBS World. These are just places to kind of get an idea in regards to what people want. Different things. If you guys haven't, Google Trends is a great place to find out what people are looking for. It can be very detailed in the demographics and things you're looking for. I've used Google Trends a lot over the years to get different different video ideas and different things to make. Sometimes it works, most time it hasn't. But that's why I always say do more than one thing to actually kind of get an idea of certain stuff. Easy thing, check for your competitors. If competitors exist, you that's a good sign to show demand that this might be a good idea. Remember, we're talking about validating is this a good idea or not, right? So we're trying to find out ways to do it. And we're doing that market research. We're getting trends. Okay, is there some kind of buzz around the industry? Are there competitors? Is other people doing it? Shit, if other people doing it, okay, that might be a sign. So somebody doing it, right? So it may be a need for it out there. You can use search engine, social media listening. What are people searching for? All this information is out there. What's trending to relevant online communities, right? People may be looking at certain shoes, shirts, different kind of restaurants, Saturday night nightlife in Atlanta, right? Hey, man, people looking for that. You think we need to get a food truck? We can open up a club. Right. You know what I'm saying? People looking for brunch spots in Atlanta on Sunday. What to do? There's a need for it. People trending. So you see that information, maybe they can do it, right? So remember, guys, when we look for certain stuff, we're getting that information, begin to see if it's valid. We don't want to go off what we like, right? We want to make sure it's a need because at the end of the day, we're not paying for our particular product or service. Right. We're not paying for our particular product or service. And if you open a business up with the aspiration that your family and your friends and your followers are going to frequent it and keep you afloat, you out your damn mind. You out your damn mind. They ain't gonna come in and try and get free shit. Right. So I'm just saying you need to be very smart about that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Here's another thing. Again, we're going over ways to validate your business. Here's another one. You build a minimum value product, a minimum viable product, a minimum viable product, MVP, minimum viable product. What is that? It's a basic version of the product or service that delivers a core value. That means you're putting your toe out there. We're doing it. You ever seen people what they do all the time when you at Sam's or Costco? Hey, y'all want to try these little these, that, and that? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, is it good? Hell no. Yeah. Hey, y'all want some of this free drink over here to drink it? Oh, disgusting.
The new thing that people do now, pop-ups.
Huh?
Pop-ups.
Do your pop-up to see whatever. Not think most people doing the pop-up to sell, not to get intel.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we're trying to see if it's validated as valid. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to that point, just with in the pop-up model, I've been places, especially, and again, guys, I keep saying this over and over again. If you look at the motions and the movements of Fortune 500 companies, they will give you a lot of the blueprint on how to roll your business. Been downtown or been somewhere, you might see a guy with a Coca-Cola stand. He might have like 30 cinnamon flavored Coke.
Mm-hmm.
They just got them testers out different places. Hey, let me know what y'all think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no. You know, okay.
Yeah.
What you think? Oh, it's good.
Right.
You know, we got 100 goods. We got 25, yucks or whatever. Cool.
Stores, yeah.
But you get what I'm saying?
Right.
We're putting it out there. We're putting a minimum viable product where we can do that. Testing out to see what's going on.
I guess the question most people would have is, I understand what you're saying with the testing the drinks and testing the sandwich and how you go to public thing. You want to try this cheese and crackers, new cheese and crackers, and you get the cheese and crackers. But I guess we're talking about a whole store, a whole concept, a whole business, because most of the times, and this is just me speaking, most of the time the people gonna start the business, then try to validate it.
And that's why they closed down.
Oh, okay.
That's why they closed down. Got a question, Sexy Redbone 28 asks question. Will you do the validation process before the business plan? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
To your point of your question.
Right.
Why are we going to do a business plan? Thanks for the question. Why would we sit there and try to do a business plan and start this business and then try to see if this shit gonna work?
Right. Right.
Come on now.
But that's how people do, though.
That's why shit closed. And that's why shit closed. And that's why you need to listen to Mr. Short Doll on YouTube.
And that's what we do. That's how people do.
But listen, Lab, because that's what you're doing, that don't make it right. That's the reason why we're having this conversation.
Okay.
If you got that minimum viable product, and remember, we're doing that to design it to test interest and gather feedback quickly.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. That minimum, we're gonna give you different methods to test it. That being designed, and what I will do, guys, I didn't do it initially. I will put the bullet points in the description section of the video on YouTube, so you can be able to go through it. Just do a checklist with everything. Okay, I will do that later on. Put the bullet points on the description section. But that minimum viable product, put them testers out there. Hey, y'all, a good one. Excuse me, the brother. I don't know his name, but he's real clever. He sells the cleaner products. Hey man, let me spray this on your shoe. Hey, this, that, and that. Hey, I do this because my girlfriend left me a little while ago and everything like that. He's a door-to-door salesman doing that. But that's a perfect example of minimum viable product. Test it out because you're sending out to different guys like that. He's selling them. I get it. But they use testers like that all the time, like a focus group, right? Where you see you got so many people, what do y'all think, gathering feedback, those kind of things with that, okay? Again, remember, we're trying to validate that product or service. Do not get your ass out there signing leases, buying equipment, doing all this stuff, creating your LLC. You don't know this shit gonna work.
Man, this should be the best business ever. I don't know what Mr. Short Dog talking about. People need shoestrings.
No,
I got the best shoestring business in America.
Lose that money, quit your job, lose that money, and get your ass back up there in everybody's break room. Hey man, how that food truck work?
This is premium shoestring. This means this is the highest quality of shoestrings.
No, like all shit aside, I do think some of the ideas that people have are good ideas. They just may not, again, be valid.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Good and valid, two different things.
Right.
And that's what we got to understand. Just because it's not an issue of shooting down your idea. It's the whole point of it is because it could be a good idea, but it might be a good idea for Houston, Texas. Right. It may be a good idea, in Silicon Valley.
Right.
It might be a good idea in China, but it may not be a good idea for where you're at right now. And that could be location, your financial status, your health status, family. I'm just saying that's what people got to do. When we deal in business, man, we got to get our emotions out of a lot of shit.
That's what
what I'm saying.
What Shark Tank tells people. When they come up, they be like, Fish Tank, whatever we want to call it. I don't know. We want to get them in publicity, but they come up and they be like, I don't think this is a viable business for storefronts. I think this is a licensing deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a great business, but I think it's better as a licensing deal. Why would you want to have a store? You know what I'm saying? Or why would you want to go into grocery stores because the SKUs are this? It'd be better if you license it to other people. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem come up is most of them people, when they go to them pitch contests or things like that, is that they're not mentally ready to sit here and look at other angles of what they want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had a good conversation with a good friend of mine today, and they were stuck on a path where they wanted to go for something. And like I told them, when you cross a finish line, you have different ways you can cross it.
Mm-hmm.
They were stuck on, no, this is the way. No, I can jump over finish line, slide over it, crawl over it, roll over it, twist over it. I don't have to do the same thing every time, right? And a lot of times, depending on where you at, well, I mentioned earlier, that dictates that pathway.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're gonna be so stuck in your ways, it's gonna be hard.
Right.
Because again, I'm not arguing with you about what people normally do, but the reason why we're having this conversation is because they normally do that, and the shit don't work, right? And a couple examples, we talking about that minimum viable product. You can have a landing page, have a call to action. You guys come in. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My $5 ebook. I've made a new landing page. I put it out there. The Kindle publishing thing aspect did not work.
Right.
So okay, cool. That was the thing. We're doing it. I'm sure you guys understand. I don't know. There's not a big capital investment I have in a $5 ebook.
Right.
So I'm putting this out there to do that. So it comes back later. If I have the $15, $20, or $30 book, okay, cool.
Right.
I've tested a couple of things, and maybe this probably
and I tweak this. Yeah. Right.
So we're getting it together, right? Right. You have a landing page. You can do a prototype sample product or simple service you're offering to people. Free car wash, free hairdos, basic discounted this, that, and that. See how this stuff goes. See what kind of traction you got with people, right? Different things you can put feelers out there to kind of do it. Okay, we got to test it. Have some explainer video or mock-up to gauge interest. Okay, to see, hey guys, y'all want to come out here, do this, that, and that. Post it on social media. See what kind of feedback you get. Guys, remember, we're talking about how to validate your business idea. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. And we're going to get into it with the BS and all that stuff, right? We're getting into that. But what I'm saying to you guys, you want to plan to do all this stuff before we start spending money. Because we can't get that money back. We can't get that time back.
Right.
So you trying to build this damn grandiose palace that you think everybody want to go to, and
it's not the case.
No, and that ain't the case, right? The next one is, again, we're talking about how to validate, different methods to validate. You can test with a small audience. You can run a pilot program or a beta test. You can offer your product or service to a small group of potential customers, like we just taught, i.e. a focus group, right? You can do that. Or you can collect feedback, observe behavior, and make improvements, okay? All right, you got those options to do that, okay?
Right.
The next one, again, remember, guys, we're talking about how to validate your business idea. Use surveys and polls, ask clear, focused questions to understand needs, price sensitive, and preferences. The cool thing about that, guys, you got Survey Monkey. You can see here, even on your social media posts, polls and stuff like that. Hey, guys, listen, what are the top things you want to use for your business? And people can put in ... You can have them where they can input something, or you can give out 5 points that and people can choose them, right? I've done it plenty of times. What are the videos you guys want me to make them with a short dollar? Credit question, entrepreneur questions, I take that information. Why the hell I'm keep trying to feed shit to people and they're telling me they don't want this, right?
Right.
They're telling me that majority of people want to get information on grants. Let me explain to y'all, guys. I'm 25 years in financial services, right? I have a ton of education, a lot of great information. I got a lot of shit, a lot more stuff to give to the world than grants. But
that's what the people want.
That's what the people want. So I'm still going to be making the information I want, but if I know the bulk of my audience want grant information, we're going to put it out. Right? You know what I'm saying? I'm no damn fool.
By the bulk, and then maybe they look at the rest of the video.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. I'm come on now.
Right.
I practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. And I put that information out there because I put the polls. I put the information out there. Like, damn, man, y'all didn't like that video. I put a lot into it. Tell me how to get the money. Right. So we got to sit here and just think about that, okay? Let me see, here's the last point. Okay, lastly, look for real commitments, okay? Likes and interests are cool, but money talks, right? Ask for pre-orders, deposits, or even small email sign-up as a sign of interest. Again, we're trying to find ways to, just test that validation. Hey, y'all, listen, y'all want to do a pre-order for this book. Y'all want to go, we think about having this concert, in September. Hey, get your pre-ticket sales, you can get it discounted. We testing it, right?
Testing it out.
You know what I'm saying? We want to do this concert, whatever. Hey, y'all, listen, why don't y'all just, pre-order them concerts? You're like, well, look, we're going to have this new clothing line, different kind of food coming out and stuff like that. Once you pre-order, you can get that discount and stuff. And then we get momentum attraction to see who really want it. And that's what was testing it, right? If no one's willing to commit, you can revisit the offer. You can just say, well, look, We offer them buy one get one free. Let's do it 30% off. You can always adjust it, but we're still what we're doing, guys. We're testing. We're testing before we made a commitment. We're testing before we made a commitment. Again, before you sign that lease, before you sign that contract, before you get that big ass damn loan, let's make sure it's something that's viable. So we're talking about how to validate your business. But we're mainly talking about how to test to make sure it's a valid business idea. Because far too often, most people test and go no further than, hey man, what you think about this?
Right. That's it.
What you think about this? And the person you asking that 99% of the time is not credible enough to give you the right answer.
The first thing they're gonna say is it's great.
Yeah, because they love you, they care about you, but they're not credible enough to do it.
They don't have.
You ain't went to an OG.
Right.
They can sit here and say, well, no, that's not
it.
it.
That chicken. That chicken might be good to you, but that chicken nasty. Ain't got enough season on it.
There you go. Make sure I ain't screwing up now with my damn nose, Lamb. I'm sorry. Okay, now I just gave you guys ways to actually, test it and validate it. Again, tonight we're talking about how to validate your business idea. Again, remember what I said. We start talking about how to validate your business idea. Validate in the business sense, we're talking about just really how to test it, okay, to make sure it's a viable option. Because far too often, people out here starting businesses up that they think is a good idea, but they really don't know how to test it. We've done plenty of videos on, especially pro forma projection. My background is in finance, so I'm one of those people that, my expertise is projections, finance, projections, pro formas, break even, cost benefit analysis. We, actually looking at the math side of it. I got a quantitative background where when a person come to me, I can run the projections to find out this, that, and that. All kind of stuff people don't want to deal with to find out, hey, listen, this is what it's going to cost, this is how much it's going to take. You need this to start it up. You need this to keep it going. You need this to make this amount of money. That's what my background at, right? So we know 99% of the people that start businesses don't even go through all that shit, right? They get the LLC, tax ID number, business license, and they start buying shit, and they did no kind of math projections, right? And to the point, Sexy Redbone asked about the business plan and stuff like that. We want to test this because once we find it viable, then we can draw the business plan.
Right.
Because like I said, when we start looking at Coke, Pepsi, I'm just trying to think of a service company, say even like a UPS or whatever, they're not going to provide a new service or product until it's tested.
Oh, okay. That's true.
One of the biggest departments in any organization is the R&D, research and development. They spend millions of dollars, especially pharmaceutical companies. They spend billions of dollars in R&D. So they want to make sure before they craft that business plan to do that, is this shit even viable?
Right. People won't even buy it.
Man, you have no idea how many drinks Coke has not put out. You couldn't imagine how many drugs Pfizer has not put out.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Right. They might got a cure for AIDS sitting there. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that because they're testing off, interest, money, cost, all that kind of stuff, feasibility, it might just didn't work. You feel me?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You want to be able to sit here and test the validation or validate the idea before you start doing it. You do this before. Okay? I can't stress this to you guys enough. If you came in recently to the show tonight, we're talking about again how to validate your business idea. And when we're talking about validating your business idea, making sure it is a legitimate business, not a legitimate idea to test it to see if it's feasible or viable to be able to do it. So if you came in, remember, this is Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, so you can see the video in its full entirety. Stay on with it right now, but you can always go back later and check out the video in its full entirety. Now, once we've done some kind of testing to check it, now we want to be able to measure interest and feedback. Okay, don't say boring shit, y'all. Track the metrics. Sign ups or conversions or on your MVP page. Now we can see and see how many people are coming in. We're tracking it, them sign ups, just see whatever. When you go to my websites, there are always pop-ups. Join the email list. I got you join the email list, join the sign ups and everything like that. Once you're on my email list, you guys know if you are on my email list, you're going to get an email 2 or 3 times a week. Right. Hey, check out the bookkeeping services. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Hey, check out our payroll services. Check out our consulting services. You're on the email, and we get people to sign up, and we also get people to unsubscribe. Right. But those are the kind of metrics we use to see, okay, what's coming in. And I can look at the numbers, how this stuff growing. But I sent an email campaign out. excuse me, to do certain stuff or whatever. I can look at the metrics, who opened it up, who's not looking,
Right.
all that
Who
kind of
just
stuff is
deleted
there,
it?
right?
Yeah.
Feedback themes. What do users love, hate, or find confusing, right? We're trying to find it when we're talking about feedback things. What do you guys hate? What do you love? What do you find confusing? How can we fix it? Remember, we want to get pain points to be able to provide something. Remember, in this world, the world, I'm going to need two things. What? Thinkers and fixers.
Thinkers
And fixers, right? So if you can actually create and make something, or if you can repair, put something together, this world will always need you.
Right.
I just seen a damn commercial the other day, and it's not picking nobody. It's the workers at Zaxby talking about going on strike, and that young lady reading her demands. And I thought to myself, baby girl, you about 1 year away from got R2D2 taking your damn shit.
Nothing like them robotic arms in there.
Oh man. I mean, they are like, yeah. Listen, y'all better get the out of there and learn some damn whatever. I'm just telling you.
You better learn to read that 21 goddamn, that got read. 21st century.
Yeah, man, but Lab, I'm telling you, like I'm looking at it, like I said, I'm not criticizing nobody, but listen, these things to come. Again, we talking about pain points. If you can fix something for somebody, hey, business owner, I can create this software, this system, these robotics, and people are like, well, robot take care of everything, and they doing it.
Right.
AI taking a lot of stuff too, right?
Oh,
you know, I got to figure out shit for my ass to do, okay? So we all in the boat together, right? Right. But there's some things that are recession proof, right? So we got to kind of make sure that, again, we're put ourselves in certain situations with that. So make sure we use them feedbacks and things. The willingness to pay or share your offer with others. The willingness to pay or share your offer with others. Guys, listen, don't we're looking to see what people be able to look at. Do they want to even deal with me? Not feel, because one thing with words ain't putting no money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to use that feedback to pivot, tweak, and double down. Get this information.
Right.
Don't get in your feelings. People say, yeah, because you don't put all this money. You want to do the soft opening at your restaurant.
Right.
And then when people come back with all these complaints, food service too slow.
Long.
Yeah. Food too salty, this, that, and that.
Yeah.
And you turn around, your ass the one did the soft opening. You turn around, man, niggas don't want to pay. They don't want to do this, that, and that. No, man, you did it to get intel.
Right.
You did it to get intel. You put people in there. The wrong thing to do, you put people in there that know that probably know you well, and they're not gonna give you whatever this, that, and that. But
we need my personal pot.
Use it and do not get in your feelings. Use it and don't get in your feelings. Okay. Now, some of avoiding common mistakes, we talk about validation. So common mistakes, man, we probably went over a lot of them. Number one, validating with friends and family. They are biased and get out. Please get outside perspectives.
But
no,
you get the validation from the friends and family. That one cousin who give you the right answer, be like, man, I don't think that's a great idea. First thing we say is, man, he hating.
Well, listen,
he acting funny.
Listen, don't get two things confused. Support and validation, two different things.
Okay.
You know, you breaking bread with spending money. I want it.
Right.
But when I'm starting to get opinions, like I talk about this all the time with my business, my children, and all that stuff. Look, man, I need to go to people that's going to be credible and verifiable. I don't need to go to somebody that's going to give me that damn opinion based off something they never damn done.
Right.
And I listen to me, lad. That don't mean they don't care about me. Don't mean they don't love me. But at the end of the day, you're going to give me something that make me feel better, because a lot of times, they don't want to see me hurting.
Right.
They don't want to see me stressing.
Yeah.
But I need something, because what it is, I gotta fix this. Right? We got to be able to get stuff from outsiders, because they don't give a damn.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about that one cousin who you might, like you say, validate with friends and family.
Well, you know him.
Yeah. You
just got to make the decision if you're going to get in your feelings and listen to him or not. Get out your feelings, right? But that's the thing about it. That's one of the main problems. Validating with friends and family. They are so damn biased. Now, if you want to sit there, you know, they give you like a pat on the back, hey, this, that, and that. Hey, bro, it didn't work. We all pop a bill and kind of just whatever. That's what they for.
That's
right. Cool, man. Hey, bro, let's
hang out, talk to me.
Yeah. Hey, let me get your mind off this. And all that shit didn't work or whatever. It's gonna be all right. That's what they for. But we need some validation and ideas, get credible intel and stuff, so we can correct stuff, make stuff right. We need to get our sides. Yeah. Okay. Again, we're talking about avoiding common validation mistakes. Number two, waiting for perfection. You don't need to build the full product before testing it. People ask me all the time. Hey man, when I want to do this YouTube, I got to get the right likes. I got to get this, that, and that. No, you got to get busy.
Right.
Do not discredit quantity for quality.
Right.
Don't discredit quantity for quality. You got to get busy out there. Now, you don't want to sit out here and attach some BS to your name.
Right.
But again, remember, we're testing. When a car is designed, they do not build the final product. They'll put the frame, suspension, test it with the thing, do this, that, and that, and we're going different ways. So when we got the suspension system, the braking system, they're testing everything at different levels. They don't put the whole car together and then let's go sit here because now you got
to crash into a wall.
Yeah, you got exactly
right.
We're gonna test so many different things before we get to that final product. So don't sit there and wait to get everything right.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you got to get started eventually.
You got to get busy.
Yeah, and I think that I'm guilty of it. That perfection is a part of procrastination too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It helps you procrastinate.
It causes stalemate and inaction and stuff like that. And all the while, you're not doing that damn thing. Nothing. How many times people, I'm going to do this with my business. I'm going to do that with my business. My New Year resolution. Man, you got New Year resolution for 5 damn years.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times the sense of urgency ain't there because you don't need to. When you get hungry, you ain't got no money coming in your ass out there doing all kind of stuff. Take a picture of your feet. Take a picture of your feet, your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Put it on OnlyFriends.
Man, you walk in, your buddy put 100 on their foot. Man, what you doing? What you doing?
It's money.
Yeah, but so at the end, they don't discredit, try to make the perfect thing to put out to people. It's got to be this, got to be that. It's just got to be doing it. It's got to be something coming around, okay? Do not try to get stuck with trying to make the perfect thing, okay? Again, we're talking about avoiding common validation mistakes. Another one is, and this is it, we talk about it, guys, ignoring negative feedback. Listen close when people don't get it. That's valuable insight. See, a lot of times, and I say this, I've said it a million times in this show, and I say it all the time, guys, y'all listen to me. Don't think people ain't listening because they don't agree with you.
Right.
Don't think people don't see it because they don't say what you say. Yes, they saw it.
Yeah.
They just don't like it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? All the time. Poochie, you're not listening. Poochie, I'm listening. I can repeat verbatim what you said. I don't agree with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
And you have to be able to listen to that, right? Because again, we say it over and over. The customer is not always right, but the customer is always paying. How the hell I'm gonna tell you what to spend your money on? In this economy, hard as it to make $1.
Right.
And I'm gonna sit here and tell you what to spend your money on.
Right.
No hell, you're gonna leave and go somewhere.
Like. Gotta get you what you want.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You ain't gotta compromise yourself or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you gotta sit and be realistic about, hey man, we try to push some stuff on people that people really not interested in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just gotta be smart about that.
Yeah.
See,
that happens a lot though. You have a business and let me ask you this. I was gonna wait to the end, but you're gonna ask anyway. You have that business that's doing well. I mean, that idea, that passion, you did all your validation, you done check with people, you did soft openings, you done ask questions, everything's great, everything's going good. The store has opened, you're doing a great job. Then all of a sudden, I thought about this when you said about Coke testing stuff before they put it out. Coke put out that Coke Zero. They tested, did a good job, but it went away because they said it was not doing well. Those kind of things, like what happens when you do all the validations, when you do the soft openings and the store, the store testers and all that stuff, and then you open up and then it fails.
Coke Zero ain't went away, have it? The new Coke. New Coke. Well, okay, so this kind of like in the ending part.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad you asked it. Validation is an ongoing process. Like, so you're always going to be, checking and stuff like that. So to your point, is it possible to sit here and do that and put it out there? You feel like it's going to work? Yeah. But at the end of the day, can it not work and stuff like that? Absolutely. Nothing's foolproof.
Right.
Right. No, that's foolproof.
Right.
It can happen. But I will say this. I think that you've seen them be more right than you see them be wrong.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the process be the process. We're doing stuff because we're gonna have some misses.
Right.
We're gonna have some misses. They just the world ain't scripted like that for everything you to do right to turn out a certain way. But that is possible.
Yeah, you have those misses. Like, and I only go to these things because you talk about soft drinks. I don't know if anybody ever saw that documentary where Pepsi had the commercial where they, get these many Pepsi points. They tested it all this. Get these many Pepsi points, you get a hat. Get these many Pepsi points, you get a koozie. Get this many Pepsi points, you get a koozie. And at the end, they say you get 762 million Pepsi points, win the Harrier jet. Somebody wanted the Harrier jet.
Yeah,
and they sued them for it because they were saying, well, they thought it was a joke. No, I want the Harrier jet. I got these many points. You said I get a jet.
Absolutely.
I want it.
And that's what I push for. You need to own that.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna just say this, man, and I want to leave everybody with 3 points. And I think when we start talking about this in regards to validating your business, okay? Again, it's been a great show tonight, but I wanted to leave you guys with 3 points to the point. But I just told Lab, remember, validation is an ongoing process, right? It's just not do it one time. Once you get it, you're gonna have refinements because again, what I have and what I validate and put out, the world is changing around me. So I need to still see, okay, is this competent or is viable for where we're at now? Because what I'm doing in 2025 may not necessarily be a good thing in 2026.
Right.
And it doesn't may not be a good thing in 2030, right? So remember, it's an ongoing process. The second thing is, the earlier you can get your idea in front of people, the better. The earlier you get your idea, when we talk about validating and make sure it's viable, the earlier you can get out there, the better. Not you're on sold for so long now, shit going slow. Now me want to start testing. The early, you know what I'm saying? Don't do the shit backwards.
Right.
The earlier you can get out in front of people, the better. Okay? That just understand that, guys. And lastly, guys, a good business, a good idea becomes a great business when it's tested, refined, and backed by some data. When it's tested, refined, and backed by some data. Most people do not want to look at numbers. They don't want to look at data. They just want to go off feelings. They see a packed house and they good. But then they wondering why, after they pay their bills, why they still suffering. You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at the numbers. And if you're not the type of person that want to deal with numbers, go pay somebody that is. They can, and also that they can explain it to you in English. Okay?
Well, definitely.
That's the thing.
Layman's terms.
Exactly. So you got to be able to do that, guy. Look here. I'm just telling you, man, the things that people avoid with anything in life is all, and it's part of something that you're dealing with, is all going to come back and bite you in the ass. If you don't stay on top of your business, you don't stay on top of your family, you don't stay on top of your credit, you don't stay on top of your health, you don't have to be bogged down with it. But if you don't give that stuff attention, the shit going to come back at some point in time.
Most definitely.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, guys, you got that idea, guys. If you test it, refine it, and you back it up with data, you will have your good business. Is it possible to miss out on stuff like that? Absolutely. But I'd rather sit there and try to test it, make some adjustment, and look at that information I got back and move according with it that is opposed to doing it. So, man, been a great conversation with you guys. Did anybody got any questions, anything like that, Lab? Well, I guess we probably, I don't know if that means it was a great show. We confused the shit out of people tonight. I don't know.
Great show.
Okay, we're gonna take that. I love that. I love that better. But man, it's been a great conversation. Remember, guys, if you came in like the middle of it, tonight's show we're talking about how to validate your business idea. Again, the root word validation is just more so test your idea to make sure it's not necessarily what you feel is a good idea, but see if it's viable to put out there in the market. Okay, before we start spending all this money. Creating businesses, getting contracts and leases and licenses. Let's see if it's viable first. But been a great conversation. Like I say again, if you came in the middle of the show, go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dog. Check out the video in its full entirety. I will put the bullet points on the in the description section of the video, so you guys can go back and check that out. Feel free to leave questions in the comments if you don't see anything. If you don't see anything, and I'm sorry, in the comments on the YouTube channel, if something pops up to your mind later on, you can also, if you need next level assistance outside of this, all the information is where you can book an appointment for consultation. That's on there as well with doing that. And lastly, guys, remember the $5 ebook, 5 questions to ask yourself before you start a business. The link is there. 5 questions to ask yourself before you start a business to find out, like, look, again, viability with your damn self. Damn the product. Stuff you need to ask yourself
Right.
before you go into a situation where, like, hey, man, do I really want to do this? Is this going to really be a good idea? 1 second. These 5 questions you need to ask yourself before you want to go down that road of entrepreneurship. And I think far too often people do not ask themselves. So definitely check out the ebook with that 5 questions ask yourself before you start a business. Man, it's been a great conversation. Love you all. Thanks for all the support. Again, we're going to hit that 85,000 this month. Love you. Be safe. And I'll talk with you soon.